All right, let's go ahead and let's get this thing started. Um, First off, I'd like to apologize. This has been a while since I put a new video out. I was meaning to do this more regularly, but real life got a little bit busy and hectic. But here we are. We got some events kicking off this week, so I figured I'd do some coverage on how I handle like champ training events. Specifically, where do I use RSL Helper? This is normally where I push a lot of events or a lot of points for CVC. This past CVC, I think I pushed about 230, 250,000 points just leveling champs up, taking food, taking it up. So I figured I would just go through kind of my normal thing on this. One thing though, different with this one, this is a champ training event. I don't necessarily care about running the leveling using energy, since honestly running the levels isn't going to do me much. Although we do have dungeon divers, so I'm going to be using a fair amount of energy on this to hopefully finish out that dungeon divers event. There's a nice little XP barrel at the end that I'd love to get, and I'm pretty close. For the champ training, there's a nice legendary book at the end. 9,000 points is kind of high, which is kind of why I want to just go over what I typically do. And then we're going to have some kind of interesting things in here. I picked up Genbo. I've got a feast on him. Obviously, that's going to take me, as soon as I get him to 40, I'll be able to take him straight to 6-star and skipping it. So I'm kind of curious how many points that will get me. So when I do that, obviously I'm going to look at it and see. But one of the first things that I've been doing kind of in preparation for this, I kind of expected something like this coming up. I filled up my inventory. So typically I keep a lot of my essentially Guardian Vault champs, people that I don't have any gear, but you can see they're all leveled up to some point. This is, in the past I've used them for points in various tournaments. But this is also where I like to stash food. And you can see I've got a relatively large enough space for a lot of food, but none in there, nothing level 1 to pick out. In fact, I've moved all the level 1s. Nothing in my master vault either. They're all kind of level 14 or up to 19 if I'm using them. But I've got a ton of 2-star level 1s in here. And you can see some of them already are at level 10. This is exactly what I'm going to do to generate points. I'm going to give 1 brew to a 2-star to take them up to 10. I'm going to give 2 brews to a 3-star when I get to there. But my process is to work from the bottom up and then just start all over. So I'm going to start with all the 2-stars to begin with. And all I'm going to do is go to my tavern, turn this over so it's this way, and I'm just going to start feeding 1 brew at a time. I'm going to get through this as fast as I can. Go on mute here while I'm doing it and speed up the video because this is really boring, quite honestly. And then I'll get right back to where I start using RSL Helper. Anyways, we'll be back in just a minute. All right, so not necessarily as bad as expected. Let's see what that's done. It's actually gotten us somewhere in the champ training event. It's pushed us about, 430 points roughly. So we can go ahead and pick those guys up. The gems are going to be necessary. We'll be burning gems, obviously for energy coming up here. But the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm just going to go take on my favorite brutal stage. We're going to go to stage 3. We're going to generate some silver as well. I do have Fellhound here, so it does make it very nice. And, really all I need to do is come down here, pick out 3 of my champs that I want to start with. So here, I like to kind of mix it up. I'll take a magic, a spirit, and then add in a force as well, just to spread it around. I am using brews, so spreading this around really makes it easier on my brews, so that I don't have one just completely depleted and then I have to run energy for everything. But now that I've got these ones up, normally what I'll do is I'll actually come into RSL Helper and I'll just tell it, hey, go run one and just sell the artifact. What this is doing for me is, it's updating RSL Helper if I picked up any new champions, making sure that it has all my current champions in there. But the other thing that it's doing for me is kind of giving a marker as to what those 3 champs that I picked up were, because now they're going to be level 12. And you'll see this matters because, and let's go ahead and let's make RSL Helper just a little bit bigger on the focus here. And so now what I'm going to do on RSL Helper is I'm going to come over here. I'm going to use the multi-level XP feature of it. I'm going to say set my food. And I know some of you are out there probably going, well, hey, you could have done the min leveling through that. That's true, I could have. And it would have burned a lot more energy than just 1 brew a piece and a little bit of silver. I'm going to make all that silver back. You can see if I were to say, hey, champion level limit, just use the level limits. It's going to automatically swap everybody out once they hit or exceed this level. So often this level limit is usually exceeded when I have, especially if I've got bonus XP. That's one thing that will usually end up level 2 or 2 stars will go to level 12, 13, or 3 stars will go to 14 usually. 19 and 25, those are pretty standard. But these are limits that I've found have been really useful. The level 1, if I actually want to level up level 1s instead of doing the 1 brew and 3, if I do this, it actually takes it to level 10. So I can do half of my level 1s and get a whole bunch of level 2s really quick. It's about 3 runs, so what is that, 24 energy running on here. But I don't want to do level limit because everything is leveled up. And if I scroll through here, we're not using any vault champs, we're not using any reserve champs. I might have thrown some into guardians though, so I'll go ahead and click guardians on to ensure that if I put any duplicates in there, I can see it. But if I just scroll through my champions really quick here, I can start seeing a bunch of level 1s. Now, I don't care about these level 1s up here to begin with. I only care about my 2 stars right now. And we can see here's my 2 stars. But if I scroll all the way to the bottom, I've got no 2 stars that need minimum leveling. But what I want to know is how many 2 stars I can, or how many 3 stars I can make out of my 2 stars now. So I'm just going to, with all this in place, hit calculate rank and food, and it tells me 18. All right, sweet. I'm just going to go through and I'm going to click 18. I don't know what your guys' preference are. I tend to only pick on the female characters. Call it superstition, whatever you want. I seem to have really good luck when I'm doing that. The other ones that I'll pick out as we're going through here are also undead. I do try and avoid any champions that are part of the fusions, just because I hate that extra click you got to go through. But sometimes, you know what, it just doesn't matter. So I'm going to keep going through. I've got, I've got probably too many spirits selected. I've got a decent number of force, but I'll pick out a couple more of these guys just to make sure that I have an even spread on brews when it comes to it. We'll go ahead and pick him, and who else? One more blue probably. Well, let's go with you. All right, so I've got my 18 picked out. I'm just going to close that. I'm going to say go ahead and auto refill because I do need some auto refills. I've only got 79 energy. I do have XP bonus for the next 3 hours, so I got to keep an eye on that. But these ones will all go really quick. With Fellhound being in here, it's about a 6 to 5 second farm, so it's really nice. But right now, all I got to do is essentially click go, and it's going to just run through these. And when they hit level 20, it's going to automatically swap these out for me. This is an amazing, this is probably the main reason that anybody uses RSL Helper, or to just continually run things like Dragon or anything like that. But I'm going to go ahead and let this run. Again, we're going to, speed through this. You'll see it swapping them out as we go, but we're going to see how many points this process gives us. This should also give us some Dungeon Diver points as we pick up some, 4, 5, 6-star gear that is just going to automatically get sold. So we're going to get some silver. You can see I've got about 32 mil silver as we start this. There's only 18. It's not going to take that long. I'll be back right after it's done, though. I just realized that I was not capturing the view when I was actually selecting the champion. So I'm going to switch my capture screen really quick here, hopefully. And just kind of show you that selection screen again. So this set food button here, when you hit set food, you get a nice little pop-up window with all of the food available to you. This is probably what you guys weren't seeing. And this is where I was selecting all of my food available to me, using my options such as my Faction Guardian champs, not caring about any Vault champs or Reserve champs. And then also the minimal leveling that I was talking about over here on the right hand side. Now you can actually see it, whereas before I didn't realize I wasn't capturing this pop-up window. Anyways, just wanted to touch base on that, show that. We'll switch back to the original view though, and come back when all of the run is complete and look at the points that we're getting. All right, now I know a lot are probably sitting there going, "Hey, you could probably run a lesser 12-3, get these to max level." For time consumption, it just doesn't make much sense to drop out of a brutal, go do a hard, just to accommodate that last partial level from 19 to 20. And saving 4 energy, yeah, it can mean a lot over time if I'm doing a lot. But let's see where these points got us. Didn't pick anything new up. Got our points up to about 609, so not bad. Picked up another roughly 200 points. We do have a bunch of champions, though, that we need to come over, upgrade the ranks for. I'll quickly go through that. There are 18 of them, so again, we'll speed through this and see where our first set of 2 stars to 3 stars takes us as far as points. I'll also upgrade all the 3 stars at this point by giving them 2 brews, and we'll see where those points get us. Be right back. All right, that is all of my 3 stars now leveled up. And we can see that has gotten us quite a few points. Definitely pushed us considerably just throwing those in there. If you noticed also when I'm throwing 2 brews in there, I am exceeding my my min by 4 3 stars. It goes up to like level 15 when I throw 2 brews at it. Whereas if I grind it by energy, I've got it set at 13 in RSL Helper, but it usually ends up around like 14, 13, depending on what kind of bonuses I got going on. But you can see that last one, that last push, combining all the 2 stars up into 3 stars and then throwing a bunch of 3 potions at, or brews at the 3 stars, gave us quite a bit of champ training points. We're now up to 1,800. Gives us a little bit of energy to pick up, some more potions. This is just a great push right there. And it's only going to get better as we level up 3 stars. There are more points. We look at this every time that we level up a 1 star or a 2 star, it's only 1 point. Every time we level up a 3 star, it's 2 points. As we get up to the 4 stars, this is where I actually start throwing like 4 brews per 4 star. Now there aren't that many, so it doesn't get that bad. But 4 takes me up to about level, I think it's 21, and 21 times, 20 times 3 points essentially. So that's 60 points per champ that that goes in there. So the points do accumulate really quickly when you do this. And I just start at the bottom. That 2 stars, fill up as many as I can. I'll even buy them out of the market, or I'll roll mystery shards and combine 1 stars into 2 stars using the 1 brew. 3 1 stars gets you to level 10 and then feed 1 more. That gets a little bit expensive, but it doesn't take as much energy as taking 1 stars to level 10 and then feeding them 1 of their others to get up to level 2. So I'll probably be doing a lot of that until I fill my inventory again with 2 stars after I clear it all out and send all my food over to my vault. Just keep repeating this. But you can see, racked up 2,000 points really quick. Getting to that 9,000 points, it's going to take some time and it's going to take some energy. It's going to take some brews, but it's definitely going to be worth it. Legendary tomes, I'm still only getting 1 drop out of Ultra Nightmare, 2 drops out of Nightmare. Clan's been doing great over the past month there. But yeah, so that's how I go about it. It's a little bit of time, but I do get breaks in between. Anyways, if you have any questions or want to see something further about this, just leave a comment below. Like the video if you like it. I'll make more content around this, specifically how I use RSL Helper. But thank you very much if you came back or if this is your first time watching. Bye.